pretty gorgeous. Hello everybody. So on one of my last videos you saw I took a whirlwind trip to Mexico City for work. I was only there for like 36 hours and I got there Friday morning, was in the studio literally all day Friday until late evening, and our flight was leaving I think early Saturday afternoon. And I was like a little like not upset, but I was just like, you know, I haven't been to Mexico City ever and I really wanted to just at least like see it a little bit. As you might know from one of my other past videos, I love running in new places because I feel like that's the best way to see a new city, because you're up close and personal. You're seeing people on the street, you're smiling at them, you get to run by all the stores and run through neighborhoods. And sometimes when you're in a car, you're going so fast, you're not able to like smell all the wonderful foods in the area as well, and you're not just as up close and personal. It's funny because in LA, a bunch of my friends were kind of warning me against it, telling me that it was really dangerous and that as a female, I should not go alone. And I was definitely prepared for that when I got there, but I still really wanted to go for a run. And when I asked some of the people I was working with and some of the people at the hotel, you know, I said to them, just, you know, honestly, is it okay if I, by myself, go for a run? And everyone said it's fine. Good morning, it is Saturday, and I'm about to head out for a run. I was a little concerned at first when I got here because I didn't know if running was safe in the area, and I love to run. But I asked the hotel people and I asked the studio people if it was okay, and they said that it's fine. So I'm gonna go for a run. I'll let you know what it's like. I'm at 3.5 miles now. I'm almost there, but on the way, it takes you through like this really cool windy little road. So it's pretty cool. The altitude here is about 7,500 feet, I think. And I definitely feel it in my lungs. So it makes running and just being a lot more difficult until you kind of get used to it. But I've never really experienced running long distance in a high altitude like this. It's interesting. So I'm a little bit of a risk taker. So I decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go on a run. And I asked the front desk woman, who was super lovely, where I should run, and she pointed me to the direction of this park. It was about 3.5 miles to run there, and honestly, it felt super safe. I didn't get catcalled, I didn't get whistled at, which happens a lot in LA, and it really annoys me, and people can be super like creepy and disrespectful when I'm like even running by myself or with a friend of mine, and none of that happened in Mexico City. So it's just funny, a lot of people were like warning me against it, and I felt safer there than I do here often. The only thing is, like, there was a lot of cars and stuff, but everyone seemed pretty mindful. So me personally, I had a good experience running. I know it depends on the area, and I'm sure different parts of Mexico, you have to be super careful, it might not be safe. I'm just speaking from my experience, I felt totally fine. The great part is, when I got to the park, it was like runner fitness heaven. There were so many runners, it was beautiful. It was like this giant rainforest. It wasn't even a park, it was better than that. It was a giant rainforest, huge, literally in the middle of the city. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was amazing. I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life. So, if I sound out of breath, it's because I am. The elevation here is killing me, but it's challenging, and I always accept a challenge. Definitely makes training and running a lot more difficult. So I'm at this park running. So glad I came here. And I've been running uphill probably for about 1.5 miles. And I guess I've kind of reached the top because the main path kind of ends. And there's this really pretty view. I'll show you.
And then I was like, look, I don't know what's happening. I'm coming back to West Hollywood, maybe Doton. Am I going to have time to go home? Am I going straight? You know,
Are you doing anything tonight? You didn't think mid-November?
In total, I ran 10 miles, 3.5 miles there, spent like the 6.5 miles running around the rainforest because it was so stunning, and I decided to Uber back because 10 miles is kind of like my max, what I like to run just for fun. And it was just so pretty, I didn't want to waste the miles running back on a route I had already taken. So I decided just spend the rest of the 6.5 miles at this beautiful rainforest. It was a great workout because there was a lot of incline, and on top of it, the altitude, the elevation in Mexico City is super high. I think it's something like over 5,000 feet, and I'm not used to running at such a high altitude, so that was a great workout for me. I was running very slow and I was very out of breath. It was so awesome. So if you're ever in Mexico City, I wish I could remember the name of this park, but I'm sure if you ask around, like, where's the giant rainforest in the middle of the city where people like to work out, I'm sure people will know what you're talking about. So that was kind of my experience in Mexico City. I'm so glad I didn't listen to any of my friends when they told me that I'm crazy for going to run. I'm really glad I listened to the people that I knew there and the locals. They pointed me in the right direction. And I know I was there for such a short trip, but I'm so glad I was able to experience a little bit of the city. And also just for my own mental sanity, I love working out. I need to work out. It keeps me healthy, both physically and mentally. And especially like running, I just love it. You can do that anywhere you want, assuming it's safe, of course. It's not like you have to find a gym that's open or like figure out where you're gonna go. Like, you can literally just run anywhere. And also, like, on days that I'm gonna be on a longer flight and I'm sitting for that long, my body gets so restless. I get super restless. So it's really important for me that I am able to do something physical before, just so my body isn't kind of not doing anything all day. For me, fitness is such an important part of my life, as I mentioned, both mentally and physically. And I always try and figure out a way to fit it in my schedule. It was a super crazy morning. We had a flight leaving and I was up insanely late working the night before, but I kind of felt like, you know what, I'll sleep on the plane. And I'm so glad I decided to go running because I just loved it. Still, it's like one of the highlights for me as a traveler. So I highly recommend it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.